Another important aspect why bhakti is there is what I explained yesterday about the first stage of yoga means going inside and finding heaven, and the second stage of yoga meaning going back outside and keeping heaven with you. This is very important. In Jnana Yoga we say, oh, we are looking for something which is absolute, which is never changing, so it is not this, it is not that, it is not you, it is not that, it is not that, it is not that, it is not that. And we find nothing until we come to the source of the one who is asking all these questions, the one who is having all these perceptions, and then finding there the one who never changes. But when then we again come out with this knowledge, we find, oh yes, God is this and that and that and that and that and that and that and that. We see this one which we found inside in each and every one, as I was also explaining, that at some point I knew now that I existed as an absolute entity, but I still wasn't so sure about you people, not knowing if you were a dream. Well, no, after some time this is really so clear that this divine which I come to love inside me is also there outside of me in each and everything that I meet. And that is essential for developing universal love. There is one Western saint actually, schooled in India, who was giving a lecture and telling a story that his teacher told him that his main job, spiritual job in life, was to love everybody. So then his teacher died, so he was there and he had to try to really love everybody. And so he was working with that, and at some point he thought, he's an American, he thought, well, if I have to love everybody, I also have to love George Bush. Which was a little bit difficult for him because George Bush was kind of a character which he didn't really like, So, but he said, okay, I have to try, I have to find a way to really, really love George Bush. So, on his altar, where he had, various saints and deities and so on, which he would worship, he put a picture of George Bush and tried to have the same feeling towards him as he had towards all these divine beings. Then it was hard at first, until suddenly he had a realization, thinking, oh, the poor soul, what a lousy incarnation. Meaning, he was seeing that behind this form of George Bush, this then in Indian view, incarnation, George Bush, there is the same soul, there is the same essence, the same divine essence as there is in each and every one. And then there he could love, understanding that we all have roles to play and that some of these roles may not be so nice. But you got to have George Bush also, you got to have everything. So, in that way, love, to develop it universally, can only happen by looking at the inside, by looking behind the eyes of the people. And this is an experience I've had a number of times after deep meditation, after some spiritual experiences, that I would then walk out. I remember walking also in an airport in America, and really, behind the eyes of everyone, I was seeing this divine so strongly, and I completely missed my plane. I had about 3 hours, to take that, to shift from one plane to another, which was really enough, and I was completely lost in all the people I was meeting, because I thought they were all just fantastic, and somehow they kind of felt that, or maybe they thought I was crazy, I don't know, but, started interacting with them in such a nice way that I spent 10 minutes there and 15 minutes there, and and when I came to the how you count at the counter, you know, where you then board the plane. They said, well, you are too late. And I thought, how is that possible? For me, it seemed as if a very short time had passed. And it was 3 hours. So anyway, that sort of experience comes. There's no escape. At some point, you really love everybody. At a point, even, you know, that you have to a little bit calm down again. Yeah, that you have to a little bit suppress it, even, you could say, because life becomes quite impossible in that way. You get stuck everywhere, no? in a divine religious experience. So this is where truly this union is made, and where God really is love. No, this is, I think, in Christianity something which is also said. No? God is love. And this is true. God then is love. And love is the central thing then. And love is the main driving force of your life at that point. So that is bhakti.